Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I haven't done a video in a couple months. I just really haven't been feeling like recording, but I did feel that it was important to make this video because I've left Swift at this point. I've been gone for like almost 2 months now, and I know I made a lot of Swift topic videos, so anybody that had any questions or just anything related to Swift, I thought it was a good idea to maybe explain my decision and why I did it, and then what it's been like since I've left. So there was nothing specifically that prompted me to leave Swift. It was always the plan. It was a little bit earlier than I expected. Really the whole plan was because Swift, they hire people out of trucking school, so the plan was always to get maybe like a year of experience and then switch over. And that's what I did, and I came across this company, and I'm gonna get more into that, but I just kind of want to touch on the fact that there's definitely money to be made, and I always knew that. But one thing about Swift, and it's not just Swift, they're a good company, and but it is known that these bigger companies, they don't pay as well, especially if you're just a standard company driver, not doing any lease to own, anything like that, on a standard miles per just getting paid however much you're getting paid per mile, right? There's not that much money to be made, and the miles are distributed amongst hundreds of drivers, so the ceiling is pretty low, and that's okay for some people, because I'll say now, like, since I've switched over, I've been driving a lot more than I've ever been accustomed to. It's been a super big change for me, and things that I just had to adapt to. Like, I used to cook very often. I don't really have time for that. So it's just been a big transition. But Swift, they trained me well, and I've learned the ropes with them, so I'm very appreciative towards them. But yeah, so anybody who had been asking, there's been like 2 people that asked me. I've left Swift, and I'm at a new company now, so I don't really know. I'm going to talk to the people, but I don't really know how much this company wants me to disclose publicly. Swift, obviously, they didn't care. I asked my managers. There's thousands of videos on Swift, but this company now, I'm just going to kind of keep the name disclosed for the time being. But I'll say this, my plan, and I've kind of touched on this before, but just to reiterate, I don't plan on being in trucking, or at least in the truck, for that long. So Swift, I do feel it's a good company. They take care of the drivers. You get your home time. But like I said, the ceiling is low. I really want to get out the truck as fast as I can. Like, I'm 22 now. I want to be out of the truck, not necessarily a trucking business, but out of the truck by the time I'm 25 at the very most, right? So I'm really kind of just trying to speed run this process, and obviously that's not the smartest thing to do. You want to take your time, but I'm not going about it illogically. But this move for me has been life-changing, so I'll just kind of touch on this. Like, my first I drive a lot more, like I said, but my first paycheck honestly was more than I ever made in any given month at Swift. And take that with a grain of salt, because I didn't always stay out 4 weeks or whatever. Towards the end, really, I started coming home like almost 2 weeks out of every month. So you can make money, but my paychecks here they're not even the same ballpark as Swift. So I kind of just wanted to make this video to anybody who's looking to do kind of has the same aspirations of me, trying to get your CDL, go through the process, maybe go owner operator, then dispatching the trucks. There's definitely money to be made, and there's a lot of work out there. And I personally, I was with Swift for 8 months, so I didn't even have to do a year. So if that's you, use these JB Hunts, these Swifts, these all these big companies, Prime, and get your experience, because the one thing that they do, because they're self-insured, they're willing to take chances on new drivers, and that's big, and you should take advantage of that. But it's very easy to get comfortable with those companies. You get the new trucks, you get everything. It's really self-automated. You don't have to worry about much. You break down, you get paid like that. Like, I'll say here, like, with this company, if something does happen, I'm always going to get reimbursed, but a lot of the times I have to have the money to pay for a repair if it comes down to it. Sometimes they do EFS checks, but it just kind of varies from place to place. So, and that's a lot of stress. And that is one thing. If you're with these big companies, you're not gonna have to worry about anything that is even sort of owner operator responsibility, you know. And then once you venture out, because I'll kind of get into my situation now. Technically, I'm just driving this truck and somebody owns it and they're leased onto a company. That's why I kind of don't want to disclose, because I don't really technically work for a company now. I work for an owner, and you know, he's a good guy, and he's looking out for me. So those opportunities are out there. Like, I run into people all the time that just have these really niche driving lanes, you know, these specific routes that they take, and you know, they're making bread. So that's all I kind of wanted to talk about in this video. And also I wanted to, you know, share a little bit of my ideas going forward for the channel. So I know it's really easy to get under the impression that this is a trucking channel, which it kind of is right now, but that's not my intention for it in the long run. So I really want to kind of just document a process of me, you know, starting out as a company driver, just as a means of making money, and then, you know, documenting all that way up until the point where I'm financially successful. And that's what this channel is. So I just kind of wanted to let that be known. I don't know how much trucking videos specifically are, you know, in the future for the channel, but definitely videos are going to be coming out. I'm planning on buying a car in October, so that those type of things are definitely going to be shared on the channel. You know, any business type of you know, just really just my life, you know, and but more specifically, you know, the growth within my economic situation, you know, just developing over time. So I don't really know if there's any people that watch my videos that care if I post or not, but if there is, I'm sorry for the wait. But yeah, I'm gonna try to post more often. Like, I drive a lot more now, obviously within, you know, the legal means, but so it's just kind of harder to do these things and edit it. You know, I'm definitely only doing this video in one take. So I'm going to try to post as often as I can, especially when I get back home. But if you have any questions, you know, I really made this video for the people that have questions about Swift, about the trucking industry in general, school, whatever. Make sure to drop them below. I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, I'm definitely going to make more videos. I kind of missed out. There's a lot of holes in this story. So I'm going to be thinking about that, brainstorming. I'm touching on all that. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Go.